All right, and your name will be Murali Dar Das.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome to the journey of self-discovery. Today I want to share an important step that I recently undertook in my journey of self-discovery. I want to speak about the process of initiation that I undertook. It is a process of deep commitment towards my spiritual master and vows that I have promised to follow for the rest of my life. Now, what is initiation? What does it mean? What does it mean to me or to others? And why did I decide that I need to take initiation now? These are questions I would try to answer. First, I like to share how it came to that. You see, initiation means a second birth. The first birth is when we leave the womb of our mother, and the second birth is when we receive transcendental knowledge. Knowledge that opens our eyes to see ourselves as spiritual and eternal beings. The soul that lives within the body. Our first birth happens through our biological parents. Our second birth happens through our spiritual parent. Initiation means I formally accept that my spiritual life is guided by someone who is more advanced than me, and that I depend on his mercy to understand and apply the teachings of the Vedic scriptures in my life. The word guru comes from Sanskrit. It means heavy. Why is the spiritual master called heavy? Because like a mountain, the guru is so spiritually heavy that he cannot be moved from his position. Moved from what? The spiritual master cannot be moved from the lotus feet of the source of all that exists, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. He is a very intimate servant of Krishna. And where does the guru receive that strength? He receives it from his guru, who on his side was a disciple of his guru. This is called disciplic succession. So I have now made that step to formally accept a spiritual master and learn from him how to serve God and him as his representative. I joined the practice of Krishna consciousness in 2016 in the UK. I was in a rather conflicted spot in my life. I had many questions. And I decided to become a monk simply to sort of get out of the common life, to sort of have a break and feel myself separated from the common way of thinking. Find a purpose in my life. I thought, if my life is perfect just by having a nice house, nice job, wife and children, I thought there must be more than that. Provided, of course, even we attain things we desire. Usually our desires remain more dreams that we hanker and run after. And then even if we have the opportunity to fulfill all our desires, still we have to die. I have to die. Why? Everything will be taken away from me. Everything that is so dear to me. It was something that was really upsetting me. Something I only could find a solution in spiritual life. So I was sort of thinking, hey, let's become a monk. Let's just meditate the whole day. There was some sort of attraction to just run off. Through my sister, I got connected to a devotee who was living in the UK in a big temple. I came to visit him, and this was the first time I met the Hare Krishna monks. I liked the dresses they wore, I liked the food they had, I even had hot showers. So I decided, let me become a monk here. Now many things have changed for me since that time. The food is still amazing, the clothes are still very comfortable, and I still have a hot shower here and there, but many questions I had over the years have been answered, and many new questions have come that I seek answers for. This is why I have decided to accept initiation, to make a serious effort and commit myself to my spiritual life. So what is initiation? Well, you see, I was born in a Christian family, so naturally they baptized me and encouraged me at some point to accept the Christian communion. But I didn't really have a choice in that matter. I did not know the Christian teachings very much, and I was way too young to make a decision on my own. But this initiation ceremony is different. It is my own choice. I have made this commitment, and I have accepted the vows that come with that process. Now, I have been practicing Krishna consciousness or devotional service already for 7 years from the date of this video. And in one sense, nothing really has changed. I'm still doing the same kind of things. I still have the same commitment to the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. And I still try to follow the regulative principles that have been laid down to help me to practice a spiritual life. But the difference is that now I have made a public commitment towards my brothers and sisters in my spiritual family, towards the Supreme Lord himself, and to my spiritual master. So in one sense we could think that when I take initiation, it's a step someone would only do when he's really convinced that this is the right thing. And so in one sense one could think nothing has changed, but it's not true. Something must change.
After the initiation, something should change. It's not that I was already a devotee for so many years. I was already chanting. I was already going to the temple. I was already doing everything. So, this initiation is just a confirmation of what I was already doing. No, it's not just a confirmation. This initiation is a change. It's a change. It's a serious change. It should be. It should.
Now, from the regulative principles that I have promised to follow, no eating of meat, fish and eggs, no gambling, no intoxication and no illicit sex, I must honestly admit that I struggled to follow specifically the part of no intoxication. I was I would say my spiritual life really only came into existence by taking drugs, specifically psychedelic substances like LSD, marijuana. I was even an atheist before I smoked DMT the first time. And DMT is a substance that is naturally in our body, which is released during states of sleeping and dreaming, and even scientists have discovered it is released through a very large amount at the time of death. So in one sense I have made a new step. I promised for the rest of my life to renounce such things, even though I'm still thinking remotely that why do these things stop me from my spiritual life? And this is where I see that my spiritual master is more advanced than me, because he also went through that, and he discovered himself free from these substances. And for me, spiritual life means that I don't need to be dependent on external things. Spirituality is within me. I can discover this based on the appropriate practice. And happiness is something that can be achieved completely independent of external circumstances.
Imagine we maintain our material desires like pets, right, and feed them every day. Yeah, then it will be very difficult to advance. So we have to be brave. Today, we are bold now. We're doing something very bold, taking initiation. Phew, that's bold. We better be brave, yeah, in taking such a bold step. But by doing so, there will be so much mercy. So much mercy. It's amazing. That's what I'm thinking now. I got so much mercy in this life. I don't have to be afraid of death. I know Krishna is there. He's kind. I'll ask him, please forgive me for my mistakes. Please accept me. I'm sure he will, because I try to live a decent life. So please, you also do. Try and live a decent life. So simple. It doesn't take much more. And then at the end, no fear of death. Nothing to worry about at all. Everything's fine. It's all good.
And this is exactly what initiation is meant to help us to become detached from our bodily identification. I have accepted a name given by my parents, and now this name has changed by my spiritual master. And this is meant to help me to identify myself not as the body, which is changing, which is temporary, in which I will leave at the time of death. Now my name is Murli Dar Das. Das means servant. I've been given this name to identify myself as a servant. Murli is the flute, or one of the flutes that Krishna plays, and Dara means the carrier. So Murli Dar Das means the servant of the carrier of the flute. So in our material life, we identify with this body, with our religion, with our country, with our community, with our family. And at the time of initiation, this conception changes. Even before that, it changes, but initiation makes it formal. That now I understand myself to be an eternal servant of God. And this is why initiation is important. It helps us to make this important step to understand we are not this body. We are the soul within the body. And it is not just sufficient to know that I am the soul in this body. Also, what is the function? What is the purpose of this soul? And the purpose or the function of the soul is to love. And this love should be directed towards God. Initiation is an achievement. I have come to a realization this is what I need for my own life, for my spiritual development. But actually, initiation is the beginning of something. It is the beginning to understand who we are and what is our purpose. And so it's a very intimate process that I would like to share today. And I just gave a little talk to introduce it, and the rest of the video will be the highlights of that procession. So I really hope you enjoy it, and you can find something valuable for your own life. And if you would like to join me on this journey of self-discovery, you can consider a subscription and a like. And I hope I will see you next time.
And then we have Matthias, who lives here in Bangladesh. Hare Krishna. So Matthias, what are the 4 regulated principles you promised to follow?
No eating of meat, fish and eggs, no gambling, no intoxication and no illicit sex.
And how many rounds?
Minimum 16 rounds.
Thank you. All right, then your name will be Murali Dar Das. The servant of the holder of the flute.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Swaha Swaha Swaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Gopinath ki jai, Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra ki jai, Shri Shri Gaurnitai ki jai, Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Some devotees. Oh, glory to the some devotees. Oh, glory to the some devotees. Oh, glory to Sri Guru and Sri Kadamba. Oh, glory to Sri Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura.